Welcome back to DFS Rebels for yet another slate of Sunday games. It is your boy Dante, back at it again with the same man I'm always with, Mr. Rob, as we're sharing our favorite Week 8 picks along with some sleepers to help you build a lineup you are confident in, and of course, help you fill up those pockets. So, with that being said, it is time to join the rebellion.
That's right. Mr. Dante, what's up? Let's do this. You ready?
Oh yeah, Rob, we got a very interesting week, I want to say. Obviously our big three quarterbacks, I'd say from this season, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. Neither one of them are on the Sunday slate. I find very interesting. So that should open the door for a couple of sleepers. So we'll definitely get into that.
Yeah, but you got everybody's favorite right there on top, the highest priced one, Jalen Hurts. And I have no problem playing him, but uh, in my opinion, Kyler Murray is likely the only quarterback with the upside that even comes close to a Jalen Hurts. And Kyler Murray's cheaper and less owned. I think the Kyler Murray versus Minnesota game is going to be a very up-tempo shootout, which means a lot of fantasy points. Going to keep an eye on some of those offensive line injuries because a lot of them are banged up. On the other side of Kyler Murray, we got Kirk Cousins. I love targeting the Arizona secondary. Kirk Cousins is like the forgotten child since he's priced right next to Tua. He can play dividends this week in shootouts. I love Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray. Those are the only two quarterbacks I'm running with this week. Who are you running with?
So I like both of those picks. I do like Kirk Cousins, obviously, because the matchup is just too good to pass up on, and he's loaded with weapons. He's got, obviously Jefferson, Thielen. One weapon I do like particularly this week is from, one of Kirk Cousins' weapons is Irv Smith, the tight end. The Cardinals are terrible against tight ends this year, and Irv Smith is cheaper. He's only costing $3,500 in DraftKings salary, going to be much cheaper than most of your other top options at the tight end position. So I do like Irv Smith, particularly in that matchup. But Kirk, Cousins, Kyler Murray, both great picks. I have two quarterbacks of my own that I do like this week. One of them, obviously, is Jalen Hurts. He is playing a Steelers defense that hasn't looked great against quarterbacks. Obviously, they have that one game where they beat Tom Brady. That's because O-line played like trash. The Eagles have one of the top O-lines in the league, so I expect Jalen Hurts to have a big game. And I do like him paired up with either A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith, especially Devontae Smith, since he's going to be a little cheaper, a little bit of a salary saver. My other quarterback I have is Tua versus the Lions. He's loaded with those weapons, a bunch of cheat codes. He got Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Both are great picks for this week to add along in your lineups with Tua. Tyreek Hill obviously more expensive, and I prefer Tyreek Hill this week. So if you can afford him, obviously get Tyreek in there with Tua. If you're trying to save a little bit of salary, Jalen Waddle almost as good of an option. So neither one of them are bad options. I gladly take either one of them. And then I also like the tight end. I think not a lot of people are talking about him this week. Mike Gesicki. He's only 3,800. He's low owned or lower owned, at least compared to some of the other tight ends. Cheaper. He's going to be sleeper for this week. I think Tua really likes getting him the ball, so I expect, Gesicki to at least hit value this week.
I love that all, Dante. I love it all. I know how you talked about that Ravens secondary, how not the Ravens, I'm sorry, the Cardinals secondary, how bad that is, just as bad as you and Madden. But listen, you talked about A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is second at beating man coverage. He faces the Steelers, who play man at a top 5 rate. Brown faces the number one matchup this week as he goes up against Levy Rollis, who ranks 99 out of 100 cornerbacks in coverage. 99 of 100. That's just lock it in for like 6 touchdowns.
That is really bad. 99 out of 100. That's like you defending in Rocket League, Rob. So definitely, I do like A.J. Brown this week.
Another receiver I'm going to go with, though, is Rondale Robinson. I know you like to hear that. He's really cheap. He's by far the Giants' most targeted player on a per route basis. He starts falling into categories with like the big dogs like Diggs, and we assume he's gonna go even more and get an elite volume. As long as he can stay healthy, he's the guy. He is the absolute guy. Another one I like would also be DJ Moore. He's cheap. He's with the highest team target share over the past 2 weeks. Moore faces the Falcons' 22nd secondary. Atlanta's top three cornerbacks have been a little injured and banged up. They allow 480 plus passing yards in last week. Moore ranks top 20 at beating man coverage. The pace of this game will be kind of gross, though, and tempo might be kind of slow, so just beware a little bit. Another low-owned guy I personally like is Chris Olave. He's way too cheap in a fantastic matchup with Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry out. Chris Olave averages 18.4 points for Andy Dalton. I love that whole matchup, actually, because I'm going to bring that matchup back with Devontae Adams. With no Lattimore, that should be a cakewalk for Adams. I'm going to stick with this game. Raiders and Saints. Alvin Kamara is he has a low-key fantastic matchup against the Raiders defense, who ranks 20th against the run defense and 23rd in the DVOA against opposing running backs. The Raiders will likely show a decent bit of cover two, which will bring a lot of blitz, and that's where Alvin Kamara is going to get a lot of targets at a high clip. Kamara averages with Andy Dalton 8 targets, 141 yards, 19.8 fantasy points. And then I'm going to run that back still on this game with Josh Jacobs, who ranks first in RB usage. He's broken the second most tackles in the NFL, creating over 90 yards of per game after contact. Now he faces the Saints' 24 tackling defense. They're ranked 24th on the tackle. That's not good against somebody like Josh Jacobs. I love that whole game. What do you like?
Yes, just to kind of piggyback off of what you said, that Saints Raiders game tomorrow is definitely the game of the week, I believe, in terms of fantasy purposes. It's honestly close to fantasy players' heaven right there. Got so many great options both sides of the ball. I do like Chris Olave as well. I have him in my notes here. He's cheaper. He is low owned. He is now the number one wide receiver because Thomas and Launcher have been injured forever now. So he's going to have a cakewalk matchup, and obviously Devontae Adams himself. So if Devontae Adams has that cakewalk matchup, what do you think about Derek Carr real quick then? Do you like Derek Carr tomorrow?
I do like him tomorrow. I think that's going to be a high-scoring game. I mean, and the ownership shows it because the ownership is very heavy on Jacobs and Kamara and Devontae Adams. They're not high on Derek Carr, though, so he might be kind of sneaky.
So yeah, I think Derek Carr could be a little sneaky pick. I didn't think about that. To go off just one more thing about that Cardinals-Vikings game in terms of the Cardinals, I do like DeAndre Hopkins. He's a little more expensive, but not as expensive as some guys like Devontae Adams, Justin Jefferson. And he's just way too big of an asset in the Cardinals offense. The Cardinals offense last week with Kyler Murray finally looked good when D-Hop was out on the field getting involved. I think D-Hop's going to have a huge role tomorrow in that offense with Kyler Murray, with the whole Cardinals game plan. So I am adding D-Hop to my lineups, DeAndre Hopkins. And another wide receiver I do like, I feel like he's not getting enough love this week, is Brandon Ayuk of the San Francisco 49ers. I know they just traded for Christian McCaffrey. Everybody expects him to be pretty much the entire offense. He'll definitely have a large part in tomorrow's game. Christian McCaffrey will, but Deebo Samuel is out. This league is way too pass heavy to run the ball the entire game. Jimmy Garoppolo will still throw the ball. Brandon Ayuk will be his number one wide receiver target, and he'll be like probably split the number one target along with George Kittle in terms of pass catching options. So I do like Brandon Ayuk tomorrow. He's only 6,100 DraftKings salary. And just to go back to that Panthers and Falcons game, I do like DJ Moore. He's probably the best player in terms of fantasy in that game in total. And I know you expected a sloppy, ugly, slow game. But that game might not be as bad as you think. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because of what's on the line. Because the winner of that game tomorrow will be the leader of NFC South. So maybe with that being on the line, the game will be a little better than you think. But then again, you are right to not really expect a very fast-paced game.
Also, let me tell everyone already probably knows this. Ezekiel Elliott is out. Use Tony Pollard. That's a free square. The ownership is there, but I don't care. That's a free square. Take it at that price.
And he's still cheap. That's the best part about it.
He's still cheap. Now I'm going to tell everyone about my super secret GPP play. I'm looking at Philip Dorsett he's going to be under the radar. He's going to be a play for me in every GPP lineup I make, especially if Nico Collins is rolled out. I love attacking that Titans secondary. Philip Dorsett is going to be playing to make a name for himself after he kind of disappeared. But I don't see how he doesn't put up. He doesn't hit value. He only needs. What does he need? He's like 3,200.
3,200. Yeah.
He only needs 10 points to make value. He can do that. He can easily do that with everyone gone on in that offense.
I mean, if he gets a touchdown, he's practically right there. So that is a good play. And honestly, if I'm being honest with you, Rob, I did kind of forget that Philip Dorsett existed until you just talked about him now.
No, trust me, he's gonna be in some of my lineups. Make a lineup with him.
Yeah, no, you convinced me, and he said if he's only gonna need like 10 points, is very dirt cheap. You know, that's pretty much if he happens to get a touchdown, which I didn't think could happen. Because that touchdown, he's practically right there anyway. So
yeah, all right. So listen, that's all my plays. That's everything I'm looking at. You know, so take a look at the cheat sheet. Bring it home, Dante. Just finish it up. Take them.
Well,
home.
I just want to throw in a couple of extra players that I still have here, just two or three other guys. So 2 running backs real quick. I might be a little biased. My boy, Saquon Barkley of my beloved New York Giants. Seahawks defense, terrible against the run. Saquon leading the league in scrimmage yards by a country mile. He'll have a good volume both the running game and passing game turnover for the Giants. Start Saquon. Not that expensive compared to some of their top running backs. Also love Dameon Pierce again. I know I say this every week. Dameon Pierce still too cheap to what he should be. And even though he's got a tougher matchup versus the Titans, he is still going to see a large role in that offense tomorrow. Tight end wise, I already spoke about Irv Smith, so I can skip that. And in terms of defense, the 49ers, they own the Rams in the regular season. They had a huge game against them a couple of weeks ago, Monday night. So I expect tomorrow to be no different. So I think the Niners defense is the defense of the week. And do you have any other last minute picks or?
No, that's it for me. That's it for me. Take it home.
All right. So thank you all for another week. If you do like what you see here, do like what you hear, listen to us. If you do really enjoy it, please consider donating to our Patreon. Only the price of a cup of coffee per month will be, and myself and Mr. Rob, we are available 24/7 on Discord to help you with last minute advice, last minute starts. You also get access to our cheat sheet that Rob and I work on so hard every week. And even just if you like what you see here, just like our videos, consider subscribing. We really do appreciate it. So thank you all. It's time to join the rebellion.